As you could probably tell by how I look and sound, I'm not feeling the greatest. However, this video needs to be made. This is going to be a talk very similar to the productivity talk, where I spoke about poor sleep routine and the fact that I wanted to improve that. This is also related to the bedroom, but it's not about sleeping routine, although I will get into that in this video. I'm also going to use this video to talk about some updates that I have from previous serious talks that I've made. This is also a serious talk, but the first name that I came up for today for this one was Real Talk, but it's just another serious talk in reality. But yeah, so I'm going to talk about two sections. The Real Talk being about the bedroom, as I said earlier, sleep as a part of the Real Talk, and then updates that I have from previous serious talks that I've made in the past. I am now done with introducing the video, and I'm now going to get into it. So the Real Talk, and that is, as I said, to do with the bedroom. And I really think that I've been been in bed for way too often throughout the day. Even though it's 25 to 1, I was just in bed maybe about 20 or so minutes ago. Here's the time right now on the car. Can you see that? Should be able to. Oh wait, hold on. It's there. Oh, there you go. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. 25 to 1 right now, and I'd say I was in bed at around 12 this afternoon, and I've certainly done that countless times in the past. So many times I actually can't give a specific example right now by saying on this date I was in bed until this time. I can't do that. But I do remember being up in bed at 12, or I was at least on the floor with my head on the side of the bed. That I certainly was doing. I wasn't really doing anything. I was just watching YouTube. I wasn't doing anything useful. But then from there, I decided to create the planking video, which is only 5 push-ups long. However, it's something. I just needed to get something out there, and I have done that. It's not like I can't do it tomorrow. It's not like I can't do more tomorrow. I certainly will do. Tomorrow is another day, man. Tomorrow is another day. But anyway, yeah, that certainly is something that I want to sort out, because it's going to help with my sleeping routine. I'm not going to feel so tired throughout the day because I wouldn't be in bed as long. Because the bed is for sleeping, obviously. But if I'm on it all the time, I'm going to feel sleepy. Or if I'm on it if I'm in bed, throughout the afternoon, I'm going to feel sleepy throughout the afternoon. It makes sense, because it's for sleeping. And there are some times when I expected myself to do so much, even though my attention isn't at a high level that I'd want it to be in my room, even though I could see the bed, which makes no sense really, because again, the bed's for sleeping. It's not to be as productive as you possibly could when you can see the bed. But yeah, that's actually, in fact, another thing I talk about as I mention it. Focus. I'd say that my focus when doing things just what I set myself generally is poor. at the moment, but I'd say I'm in the process of changing that. And I remember in a previous log, I gave myself the advice through the description, if I remember correctly, to be very deliberate with my actions by saying, for example, I'm going here, I'm going to X to do Y. And I noticed when I haven't done that throughout daily life since giving myself that piece of advice, that I'm just walking all over the place. For example, I think it was this morning, I was in the kitchen cooking some food. My mind wasn't really focused on cooking the food. I was just walking all over the place as well. I wasn't being very deliberate with my actions. Obviously I was there to cook, that was obvious, but I was just walking around so much instead of really getting focused into getting what I need to do done, which in that case was making the meal, which I'll actually come back to later. Earlier in the video, I said that I was going to talk specifically about sleep routine, so I'm going to do that now. Today wasn't how I wanted it to go. Yesterday's sleep wasn't how I wanted it to go. I was on YouTube from all the way up to about midnight to 1 in the morning. I forgot what I was going to say. Hold on, I'm going to have to go back. Yes, as I was saying, I did that today, which is going backwards, because I'm well aware that I want to fix my sleeping routine, and I know what to do, so my sleeping routine goes in the way I like. I know exactly what to do because I know what has worked for me in the past, and that one thing would be to get off the screens by 8:30 at the latest, so I have at least 1.5 hours off the screens before going to bed at 10. Before wanting to fall asleep at 10. So I know what to do because I've done it in the past and it's worked for me, but today I just haven't done it, and I want to talk about these sorts of things, both the highs and the lows. This one event being a low, because I want to put myself in as honest a light as I possibly can by not only showing the highs but also showing the lows. And it's not like I don't know what to do. I know what to do, I just didn't do it last night. But it's not like I can't not do that. It's not like I can't not attempt to do that again. So I will do it again. I will come off the screens by 8:30 this evening. I'll do it, and I'm not going to stay in bed. You can only do that for so long. You can only do that for so long in your life. Be in bed all day. Not that I personally want to do that, but even being in bed at 12 in the afternoon for me is unacceptable. I should be outside. I should be doing something at least. Even if I'm not outside, I should be achieving something. I should be doing what I've set myself to do at least, even if that means I'm not outside. Ideally, I would be outside to get some sun, but even if I'm not, I should be doing something, focused towards achieving something at least. So I'm not going to do that no more. It's just you can only do that for so long. I mean, I'm 20 years old now. I can't be doing that anymore, and I don't want to. So I'm not going to. Even with this cold, that's unacceptable, because I have things to be doing, such as creating more high quality content for this channel. Speaking of staying up all the way to midnight to 1 in the morning watching YouTube, a friend and I were speaking about improving a relationship, or how you use YouTube. And one thing that she told me that helped her is to use a black and white filter on the screen, which you can do on the iPhone. I don't know if you could do it on the Android, but that doesn't really bother me, to be honest. But yes, so I know you could do black and white filters on the iPhone, and I'm actually rather interested in doing this because I've done it on the tablet, not through filtering the whole screen, but there's something called focus mode, which I'm going to get into later on in the video, which there's something called focus mode on the tablet, which I'm going to get onto later in the video, which filters the colors of the apps that you aren't using and that you don't want to use in black and white. And I've looked at YouTube and it's just not as appealing as it would be with the red button. Maybe that's affected our psychology so much more, or maybe that's affecting how we use it so much more than we are actually aware of, or at least that I'm actually aware of. It really could be, but I don't know. I've read at least one article about the color red influencing our behavior, which people who created YouTube could be doing, or probably most likely are doing. So more people are on the platform, which means more money through advertisements. But we already know that, right? But yeah, I looked at it on the tablet and it just wasn't as appealing anymore. And I think that black and white filter very obviously is going to give the same effect. And I think on the condition that I'm not always going on to, or not always showing myself the YouTube app on the phone by going on the phone, that's actually going to work for me, and that I'm not actually going to watch YouTube, at least not as much, and at least in a much healthier way, by not going on it after 8:30 if I do that black and white filter, again on the condition that I'm not making myself see it by going on the phone and looking at it, in a sense tempting myself to actually go on and watch the app even though it's black and white. So I'm actually going to try that out and see how it works, because it might just do, again on the condition that I'm not showing myself the app on the phone all the time. Right now, as the last slide says, I'm now going to talk about the update section of this video. I've got quite a few actually, and this is going to be the first one. So I'm not sure, I think I have spoken about this before, but what I'm doing is healthy eating habits wise, which is what this is about. I'm eating 60 days clean from the 17th of February to the 18th of April, and then 2 days dirty. And that is certainly going. I haven't broken it, and the habits, they're started to really become stronger and stronger and stronger as I'm doing this. So right now I think it's the 27th. Hold on, I want to make sure it isn't the 27th. It's in fact the 28th of February, meaning that this is day 12 of me eating healthily, which is almost as long as I've gone for in the past. I remember around April time last year, I was eating cleaner than I did before for about 2 weeks straight, and I was tracking my meals every day. I was tracking everything from my memory all the way down to the seasonings I used for 2 weeks straight. But it didn't stick. It didn't work out, and I'm not in any way surprised that didn't work out, because I didn't do anything like that in the past where I'd tracked so consistently. I barely, if ever, used the scale before that. Back when my sister was teaching me about using the scale to be able to accurately track meals on MyFitnessPal. Before that, I didn't do that at all. What I do is, this was a short while before my sister allowed me to use her scale, was I would just guess. Truthfully, I just guess and then put that on MyFitnessPal. Of course, with no tracking experience, those values are going to be inaccurate. I don't even need to go back to to know. I really completely believe that all of those values that I made back then before using the scale were inaccurate. But what am I saying? So I'm gonna have to go back. Okay, I now remember. So this is day 12 of eating in a clean way, and we have 48 more days to go. And even with this short amount of time, I can see from my weekly photos that I'm starting to lose weight. I made a serious talk about 2 or 3 weeks ago, which was the very first update, which was about a 20 to 30-minute video explaining that I'd gained a lot of weight over the past 4 weeks, and I've been eating much more healthily than I did back then, when I was at times eating takeaway 5 times within the space of a week. But now I haven't had takeaway in quite a while. I don't remember how long, but it's been a while. At least 12 days, and we have 48 more days to go. And yeah, with the photos that I've been seeing, even in the space of 2 weeks, it looks like I'm losing weight. So we just keep on going, keep on going up, really. And as I said, I want to make this channel a very open and honest channel. So I'm going to show you both the highs and the lows of this journey. The lows being that reality check, understanding that I put so much fat on my face and also on my stomach, to then be able to realize, oh, I need to do something about this. And now I've started losing weight again. I'm currently at the point where I've lost enough weight for my abs to be slightly showing in very good lighting, but the part just above my pelvis and below my lower set of abs, I have quite the bulge. I have a small bulge, which makes it look like my belly looks like this from the side. So from all the way up to the top set of abs to the bottom is straight like this, very basically. But then when it gets to below the abs but above the pelvis, it then bulges like that. So my stomach kind of looks like that. You can see abs in very good lighting, and then below it but above the pelvis, and then bulges, which I'm trying to undo. Which now leads me to the second point, which is my second update. Starting from today, I'm going to start tracking. I also wanted to, let me specify, I'm going to start tracking my meals starting from today. And I've done that for my first meal, which was 7 meatballs, 6 crab sticks, cauliflower, 104 grams of Savoy cabbage, and 40 grams of sweetheart cabbage. I thought I put more in there, but after it was cooked, that's what came out on the scale. And then 15 grams of brown sauce on the meatballs, and then 17 grams of 50% less added sugar ketchup on the cabbage, and also a tiny bit on the cauliflower as well. And then with that, I had a 14-gram chocolate flavor pea nutrition protein shake, which then has allowed me to get a macronutrient ratio of 25% carbs, I think 44% protein. So what's that? 25, 44. So that's 69. So that would be 31% fats. But I'm gonna stop this voiceover here to be able to give the exact macronutrient ratio that I've got from my first meal and my protein shake collectively. Here are the macronutrients of what I've had so far collectively, which you just saw then in the pie chart. And then I also go through the macronutrients of each separate ingredient. I just click onto them, and then you can see what they are in terms of macro percentage of carbs, proteins, and fats for each ingredient. I really wish that the brightness could be increased. I edited this clip on the camera roll so that the brightness was on 100% extra than it originally was, but I don't know what I'm doing for the brightness to be so low. In previous screen recordings, the brightness was much higher than this, and it was normal, but this is what I've got to give. I really wish I could change this, but I don't know how to. Maybe I'll find out later in the future, I don't know, but help would be appreciated, so I could do screen recordings like this in the future and the brightness is okay. But anyway, back to the topics of this video.